Yes, I know. I cut the last episode short because I've been banging on a bit really on the previous few episodes. Well, there's a lot to do, you know. And talking of which, we're back in Hondookiville. I have the workshop manager in today, and he's overviewing what we're doing on the Honda. I know we were supposed to be doing shock absorbers, but I couldn't resist showing you my little electric tray, which is kind of nearly there. I just need to do a little bit more bending and what have you to get it to fit. And it's in place. Fits nicely over the back here, and it'll fit nicely under the front there, I think. Although, should fit over really, shouldn't it? So that it's flush, level. Yeah, alright, we'll have to work that one out. Might have to split that corner as well. Lovely. Fully aerated for venting and keeping regulators, etc. Cool. So, I guess I need to go and get some bolts. Now, I think what I'm going to do is get some of these lovely Allen head bolts that I got on the Yamaha for the seat frame there. I think they'll do the job nicely, and some nice big nuts that fit on the end. Lovely jubbly. And I'm still wondering about the front end and what to do with that. And I've got this cowling that I bought for the Ducati, I think. Wondering if that could work somehow. Yeah, nice little speedo cluster in there, whatever. Single headlight. Something like that, maybe. I don't know. I have another idea as well. Dangerous, all these ideas. No, think that was a stupid idea. We have nuts and bolts already nicely slotted into position, and actually I think we can get some shorter ones for those bottom jobs, which is worth bearing in mind. Anyway, as you can see, I only bought two, so we're going to need two of the long ones for the top, and then we'll need some shorter versions for these bottom boys when we do that. But at the moment we're just going to test fit it, because obviously I don't want the new shock absorbers on while I'm hacking bits of the frame off, because if it slips, as it does, you take big chunks out of that. Yeah. Shame. Well, turns out those are only just a little bit too long, so I might stick with them. And actually they're a little bit bloody short up here. So yes. Those don't actually fit. Not quite enough thread to get anything on. But that's the general idea. Took a couple of hits, just took it out with a small drill to start with, then an 8mm, then the 10mm, and there we have it, in place. How about that? Cool. So get some longer bolts for the top. I think we're happy with those at the bottom, actually. Yeah. Obviously managed to give myself an insta blister. Yeah, tightening up the drill bit. Nice. Hurts like buggery. Holes are drilled in the other side, and while I had the drill out, I drilled my vegetable carrier. Yeah, and that's in place. That's lovely. Yeah, obviously it needs cleaning up and possibly painting. Possibly not. It's kind of painted already. Yeah, like that. Very Dalek. Well, I'm very happy about the whole suspension shift. And I have no idea, like I said, I have no idea what's going to do the handling. And if any of you do know, I'll be very interested. Please leave comments, even if it's like you're an idiot, what are you doing? You have no idea it's going to handle like a pig. Yeah, let me know. Really do appreciate hearing from you guys, even if it's after the event. It primes me for the next time, right? I do read all the comments and I do take note of what you have to say. So this is a bit of a catch-22. Obviously, I've kind of loosely put the old shocks back on. And what I'm thinking is, obviously, I need to cut here. Yes, here. Which will make these redundant. And therefore, how am I going to hold the back end up while I do all the work on the frame to make that neat and tidy without putting the new shocks on? Because I don't want to damage those. I think I'm just going to have to make some metal struts that are just solid but hold that in place. So same size as the new shocks on the new mounts, and do all the framework with those solid bits in place. I think that's the plan, right? Makes sense to me. Well, of course, the perfect solution is wood, especially in this project. Well, come on, give me a break. Some manufacturers have been using it for the entire chassis for centuries. Like Morgan. I wouldn't buy one, but there you go. Sorted. Excellent. Couple of deliveries today from CB750supply.com. Gaskets for the covers that I removed, and some new spark plug knobs. Except I only ordered one of those. Need two. Anyway, so that's all good. And yes, underneath are covers. Yes, I need some covers. Now I can put the seat on the Suzuki. And yeah, I can cover that up because it's just not very ugly to look at. Yes, and it keeps reminding me that it's not finished. Actually, it keeps reminding me that twat Derek hasn't bought my seat back yet, let alone my Ducati. So it just irritates me every time I look at it. Good thing is I forgot to order some other stuff off CB750 Supply as well. So the rear brake drum shoes, yes, and a brake rod if they've got one. Because that one's seen better days. It's kind of bent and mangled and yeah. And I called into Ace and got some longer bolts, longer 10 mils for the top mount of the shock absorbers. Yes. So we're all good to go on those. I just need to chop that back end off, really. There, that's better. Not bad for less than 20 bucks. Right, now we're all wrapped up. We can do some serious work with our good friend, Mr. Kawasaki. Yes, we're going to be chopping that. Let's go. Not the wood. Obviously, that's holding it up. That would be stupid, right? Well, we're getting there, but the bad news is it's difficult to get to, access-wise, without taking the wheel off, obviously. And the other bad news is that Thor is broken. Well, I guess it's time for Super Thor. Well, it ain't pretty, but it did work. So it was just that little bottom piece there that was hanging on for dear life. So there we have it. Yeah, so there's bits and stuff that I need to tidy up and get off. I'm sure I can get to that. That little bracket here. So yeah, notice I'm wearing gloves. Yes, I learnt my lesson. Yeah, all right, good. Okay, so here's the difference, right? Cool. Lovely. And actually, the beauty of this is more by luck than judgment, honestly. But, you know, I was kind of erring on the side of caution. I've maintained most of the structural integrity of that join of those two tubes as much as I can. Yeah, there's a little hole here, obviously. Maybe I'll be a little bit more gentle on the other side when we come to that. But, yeah, generally, I'm very happy with that. Obviously, needs tidying up, as I said, but yeah, good cut. And while we're on the heavy duty tools, obviously, big screwdriver alleviated that from its position. Just a little bit of bending around and it'll come off now. Leverage. It's all about the leverage, and that's not leverage. Well, there you go. Job done. One side. Yes, we're back on the electricals. The fun and games and grinding and sparks and stuff can only last so long. And you may wonder what the hell I'm doing. And I'm kind of wondering the same myself, honestly. You may recognise this. Yes, I bought this for the Suzuki. And I wondered why it didn't go anywhere. And I realised because no matter what, whether it was on or off, it didn't make any difference. So basically, the Suzuki guys bypassed the whole 30 amp main fuse thing. But I'm insistent and determined to install this on the Honda because I think it's a brilliant idea. So yeah, that's what I'm doing. And actually, at the moment, it's not rigged into anything because I've just made a complete... I still don't quite understand the circuitry here, but I have got it as far as just lighting something up. Yeah, my test light. Yeah, I did try it with this first, obviously. So now what we're going to do is put that in line. Alright, so it's a bit precarious right now because both those ends effectively will become hot. Yes. And they're dangerously near the frame. But the theory is working. So here's our little switch. So we switch that on. And our little light comes on. And then we hit our little trip without touching the frame on either end. Now tripped, no light. Cool. Why are we still messing around with fuses in this day and age when we can have one of these? Bingo. Brilliant. So we won't be needing that anymore. But you know me, it's a spare. Well, that's what I call precarious. It's all balanced on one tiny little bit of wood. Nothing holding it up this end. Okay, we are ready to chop off the other bit tomorrow. Oh yeah, it took on a hot. So that's wired in properly now, although obviously once we position the switches and things, and batteries and what have you, it could end up anywhere and require a lengthening or shortening of wires. But it's more secure, it's got this little plastic doofus on the end here. So what begs the question is I've now disconnected that white wire from what potentially would be the fuse box. And it hasn't made any difference. And I'm not sure what they are. I thought these were earths initially, because one's green and they both come out the same thing. I think I need to unwrap this. And it's definitely not power. So I'm really not sure what that's all about. I probably need to look at a wiring diagram, find out where they should go. But I mean, we've got the positive here, we've got the big neg with a nice red as opposed to black that comes down here, disappears into that plastic bag. Yeah, don't know. Probably should take a look down here while I've got the cover off, see where that goes. I'll do that in a minute. Anyway, with it all unplugged, as you can see, everything still works, including my little test light. And everything stops working as soon as you hit this. No test light. No power. Brilliant. Second version of the stickers arrived today, and a much more suitable size, even for the wing actually, because those other ones came right to the middle of the tank. So they're on, and now it's just a question of whether I'm brave enough to paint this thing or leave it as is. Yeah, silver, white wings, quite nice. I don't know. It's just a bit sparkly. Now, as soon as this box arrived today, it would be rude not to use it. So the tank is in there, and it has been painted with the favourite, that blue. Yes, and then we're going to do this blue. Yes, because it's a $43.75 tank, including postage, as you well know. So, what can possibly go wrong? Meantime, I've been tidying up, haven't I just? Look, no wires. Amazing. Yes, because there aren't many, and they all kind of fit in there. And yeah, I know it's a mess. I haven't worked it out yet. But I'm thinking if I can get a battery that's only twice the, I don't know, the width of that one, because that's a very, very small battery and I don't think it's going to be big enough. But if I can get a 4x4x5 or something like that, it'll all fit in there. Wouldn't that be just pucker? Yeah, don't know where I'm going to put that. The old starter solenoid. But I'm sure we can find somewhere for it, like here on the frame somewhere. Yeah, can go anywhere. Tank's going to cover that up. So yeah, that's all rather exciting, really. Well, when I say exciting, it's like a 4 out of 10 or something, as opposed to the 8 out of 10 on the Stratos front. But that's a different episode. And I think I figured out what these two wires here are. Yeah, because there must be a switch, right, to go to the solenoid to fire up the starter motor. unless it's off the starter motor itself, which I doubt. I haven't looked it up yet on the wiring diagram, and I shall refer to my manual when I get time. Anyway, what's that tank looking like? I'll let you know later. Blimey, is that the time? I think we better call this episode to a halt before we get too carried away. How time flies when you're enjoying yourself. So thanks for watching as usual. Do tune in again next time. We'll be painting the tank. We'll be chopping and hopefully finishing the other rear end of the frame. We'll be replacing all the covers and gaskets. Yes, scintillating stuff. And we'll be continuing with the electrical saga, obviously. So, if you haven't already, do subscribe and, of course, encourage others to watch my lunacy.